Welcome back, travelers, to the hot and cold map for the deep desert for the week of June 17th to June 23rd. That's right, this is your one-stop spot for trying to figure out exactly where the safest locations on the deep desert are, or where to find all that hot and spicy PvP is going to be. Starting off, we will go with the hottest spots on the map, and this is going to be stretching anywhere from H5 to H8. And I would extend that down to E5 to E8. This is going to be one big square full of death and damage because we have two very large ring mouth spy spawns inside of the E and H5 zone, not to mention two major rock strontium and titanium outposts that are sprouts that are going to be popping up on islands. These are big grinding areas for people, and of course you got that nice little spot right there in the middle at G7 that has both strontium and titanium spawning at the same place, surrounded by two fallen ships, smaller spice fields, and a whole bunch of other crap that you can see that is going to be popping up. So if you are trying to avoid PvP, I would say anything between H5, 8, E5, 5, and E8 is definitely a spot which you do not want to go into. The next thing that I would point down to, probably DEFCON 4, not 5, this would be DEFCON 5 since I didn't say that earlier, is going to be over here in the F and E areas of 1 through and 3, E and F. This is only because we really have one more large ring mouth spice field that will be spawning over here, so you're probably going to see a lot of people after they have hit these two like kind of flying out this way and trying to figure out stuff. Going deep in this side might be the safest if you are trying to grab some kind of resource like strontium or titanium in a large amount, although I'm gonna guess that a lot of this is going to be just empty desert out here, but still you have kind of a small spice field that's spawning out here, two of them, so you'll be able to maybe jump out there and get some spice without being harassed so much. It'll probably be pretty much in this region that you have to worry about. Obviously B and C lanes are always going to be more or less emptied out, and you're only going to really get caught if you are probably in the lanes of B6 through B8, and most of the time I would say it's more or less B7, B8. People are going to be spawning in here to try to get out to all of this stuff, and you can see in the middle lane, obviously lane 5 is going to be hot, so be expecting there to be a lot of people flying back and forth down that that lane 5 trying to get to these two large spy spawns. So accordingly, all of this area over here from D and B is going to be more or less safe for you to run around and try to get some resources out of it. Obviously, you don't start getting the good stuff till you hit D, so you might be able to squirm into the E spots as well, find some decent ore. Here is a small spice field, but I would be wary if I started jumping out into this ringmouth spice field because, as I said, once these are starting to get tapped, they're going to be going over there. With that in mind, we have very hot, we have mildly hot over here, and we have nice and cold there. And this is kind of a warm spot, deep in the corner of I and H, 1, 2, and 3. Remember, the hot lanes that you need to be wary of to stay out of this week if you are a small or solo player is going to be that lane 5. Lane 5 is going to be absolutely scorching. So lane 5, lane 6, because people are going to spawn in and have to fly over to that, but just please keep in mind lane 5 is going to be a nightmare for anybody who is not packing some serious punch. Once again, hot, warmer, hot, kind of warm, cold. Stay out of lane 5 if you do not want to be chased every 5 minutes. Thank you guys for coming and joining me this week. Have a nice time, and thank you all for watching.